Hey, so I'm Justin Sharrocks. I'm one of the directors here at Trusted Tech Team, located in our London and European branch. We're a Microsoft Direct partner. We hold both the Microsoft Direct CSP as well as all 6 out of 6 partner designations. And the key thing that we help to do is work with medium to enterprise-sized organizations to ensure that they're getting the best out of their Microsoft investments. We know how complex the Microsoft world can be, and not everyone can align or spend enough time to really understand what these changes are, how it's going to impact their environment, but even what are the new features, what are the new security outlooks that are coming. We work with 6,000 cloud customers. Those are organizations that are using Microsoft 365 as well as Azure, and then over 40,000 on-premise customers. So that's from a licensing procurement, but then also a utilization and optimization exercise from SQL to Windows Server, and so on and so forth. The key thing that we do is a 24/7, 365 offering, really aligning to organizations, understanding what their Microsoft environments look like, what their goals are for the year, what their budget looks like, and really understanding what their internal users, but also their technology teams have the capability to deliver. I think we see it quite often. We've seen it in the news more recently, is that the skill gap continues to grow. And what we look to do is really partner for success. We look to collaborate with customers, with organizations who are utilizing Microsoft while looking to grow into that Microsoft space. The key things that we are looking at from, I guess, an AI perspective is as organizations continue to feel the pressure of the growing demands of AI, really aligning to understanding their needs, but also their security demands. I think, we've seen a whole bunch of, I guess, over the past month, a lot of stir in the media with, the DeepSeek release, and how that has unfolded and the real risks behind the data security that is really coming along with the fast evolution of AI. I continue to talk about how everyone is using AI, whether organizations are rolling it out themselves or if it's being self-sourced. And I think the latter is quite a concerning evolution to businesses that don't have the necessary policies, procedures, or regulations in place to really understand where their data is going, how it's being used, and which AI technologies are being consumed or kind of processing that information. There's a lot of different things that you can do with AI. I think it's a great resource. It's going to drive a lot of efficiency, but I think at the end of the day, it still needs humans to interact with it. It needs to understand what business problems we're going to solve. So what we've done, particularly with some Copilot or ChatGPT rollouts, is work with organizations to understand where it's going to fit in their business, understand the business case, and then which of the users do we need to bring along the journey. We're running Copilot assessments to understand if organizations have their Microsoft tenants ready for the rollout of AI. Are the security and data tags and data loss prevention policies in place? Do the users have correct permissions set up? There's a couple of cascading effects that can happen if you just release AI into your environment and it isn't set up correctly. The users aren't brought along on the journey. It essentially, there's 2 parts here. It poses a data security risk, but it also then just poses a risk of putting AI in and it's not going to get used effectively. Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's maybe 2 parts to it. So the first story is like we worked with an organization, and they were looking to deploy AI, and they kind of got on the hype and bought a couple of Microsoft Copilot licenses. The key thing that they didn't realize is that when you give a user a Copilot license, it gets all the permissions that you have. So if you have not sense checked the permissions that each user has and what information they can get access to, when you're typing into Copilot, give me information based on XYZ, it's going to access all of the data that they have access to. And in one of the cases or one of the scenarios, we're actually, they kind of fed back to us that one of their users was just doing searches and kind of typing in a couple of questions to Copilot, and they managed to grab all of the personal payroll information across all of the organization and from the employee perspective. So as you can imagine, that's quite a big risk. from an internal perspective, but also from a data leakage, right? So I mean, the key thing post that is running that co-pilot assessment, highlighting what security features haven't been turned on, what everyone has access to, and really kind of granularizing those privileges and permissions to align to, okay, so I know what Justin has access to. So I know when he's searching for things, he's not going to be able to get to these privileged or confidential places. A lot of organizations, now that we're seeing a bit more of an economic crunch, we're seeing the skill gap continue. So I think the key thing that we are seeing is partnering for success. So as kind of I put it, is organizations are more willing to work with external agencies and partners like ourselves to really help them adopt, understand, and secure. And I think that's one of the key insights that we have coming into this year is whether it be us or whether it be another partner, I think organizations don't have the internal resources to do what they need to do and align them to business outcomes. So I think for a more economic, commercial sensitive, but then also getting the best out of the product, aligning to partners who can deliver, but then also help them along the journey without it costing an arm and a leg or hiring a specific AI resource internally to do that for them. We've got a 99.3% customer satisfaction reporting. I think our average response time is about 5 minutes. We've got about 85% of our tickets are resolved in-house, and we're 10 times faster than going directly to Microsoft. Our teams really understand the business need. They understand the urgency, and we really enjoy working with customers and understanding their problems. I think the key thing that we like to look at is we know that every customer is not going to be the same. There's no cookie cutter approach. I think really understanding and just looking at what your environment needs, what licenses you have, what features you don't have enabled, where can you optimize? We know that the cloud continues to grow in a cost perspective. We know that everybody's trying to save money. It's not at the end of the day, it's not about the saving, it's really implementing and using the technology that you've already invested in, rather than continuing to create these multi-layered features that overlap in a lot of areas. I think understanding that and then understanding how we can put AI into environments safely, make sure that your users have regulation or policies in place so they know what they can and can't access and where they can and can't use AI. That's really where we go above and beyond. We'd love to work with you guys. And yeah, thank you.